Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back for another video here on my channel. Today I'm giving you guys 3 meta builds for the Kuva Chakkhurr. This weapon is one of the all-time classics when it comes to the Kuva guns. It's one of the old strong weapons that everyone used to use. I used to use this all the time. It's kind of been phased out with the, all the new weapons in the meta, the incarnates and everything. No one really uses it, no one really talks about it. So I wanted to come back and I wanted to re-look into it and kind of just give a new take on it in 2025, see how I can make it. And honestly, I didn't need to revive this weapon at all. This weapon is already sitting on a very high pedestal. This weapon does very, very high damage. Now, this first build I have for you guys here is a primary acuity build. Pretty much we're just using galvanized aptitude. We're using galvanized scope for extra CC. We have critical delay for CC, critical damage from vital sense. We're running internal bleeding because this will give us 70% chance to proc impact. We have 2 forced impact procs, one on the initial tick and one on the radial tick. And this weapon also gets 50% headshot damage, so it's really, really nice for acuity builds. It kind of seems like it's made for acuity builds, but I have 2 other builds for you guys that'll, if you guys are interested in playing this in like a more multi-shot kind of way, you could, but this is definitely the way I would recommend using this weapon. Now, this will destroy Demolists. It will destroy pretty much everything in the game that you go up against. And also, if you don't kill in the first hit, there's only a 30% chance that you won't get a juicy bleed tick out of, that 100 million damage tick you do. So this is really, really nice to have. So I'm just going to show you guys the build here real fast. It's really, really solid. I'm just going to prime first, though. I'm not going to use Zatas or anything, just because I want to be able to get my deadhead stacks up really easily. You can see I just easily got my deadhead stacks up. You can see, if you shoot the enemy sometimes, well, actually, this is going to kill in the first tick, but if you shoot them in the body, they'll get the bleed tick. But sometimes if you don't have enough damage to one-shot them on the head, you probably won't without any deadhead stacks. Then you're probably not going to kill them. You're just going to get a really juicy slash proc, and it's probably just going to kill the enemy for you. So what I would definitely recommend is that you prime it first, just so you can get your deadhead stacks. Once you get deadhead stacks up, you can see these 230 SP Kuva heavy gunners. These guys are just getting one-shotted. Really, really tough. So I'll show you guys with the Bane, or not with the Bane, with the priming. I do have Bane on this. Wanted to mention that. When you do some priming, this thing does a lot of damage. See, 84 million. 36 million, 87 million, 77 million. Don't forget too, these big tens of millions procs here, these are going to be applying a very, very heavy slash proc. Even if you don't get it on the first shot, you just shoot again. Most likely you'll get it on the second. It's a really, really strong build. I've used this against Demolists and Disruption, and it absolutely kills. I would highly recommend you guys give this build a try. Out of anything else first, if you're going to want to try this weapon. Now, I have 2 more builds for you guys. I have 2 multi-shot based builds. Now, this build is the one that's going to look slightly different, and also where I would recommend you Valiance override it over to Heat, so we can get blast on the initial shot, which is going to be really important for us. Since we're using things like Aptitude, it's not going to actually benefit the radial attack. Things like Merciless's base damage will benefit the radial attack, but Aptitude will only benefit the initial attack. So that's just important to know. So having blast on the initial attack is going to be important to have. Now, you can come into a mission and you can use things like this. I'm going to be using Smoke Shadow here for another. It's not flat 150, it's scaling 150, not 150%. I got Crepuscular on, and I have Zata's Whisper on here, and you can kind of see what this will do. I'm going to prime the first couple shots just so you guys can see. It's actually killing them itself, just my primer. But you can see this is a multi-shot blast build, and this does good damage. Now, I'm running on this instead. The thing that looks differently is I have primed fast hands on here because this weapon has such bad reload speed. You need as much as you can get. So I have primed fast hands. I have Merciless for that 30%. Really, really nice. You could go for Deadhead here. It probably would be even better for you to go to Deadhead here. It would be easier to stack and everything. But that 30% reload speed, it's just too nice to get rid of. So yeah, the build, it's similar, but it looks a little bit different. Like I said, you just need to change it over to Heat, and then you could do some really nice damage. Now, let me just get rid of this one enemy. And I will show you guys now one more time. I'll just stealth here. I won't use Zatas. I'll just show you guys how this looks when I start killing enemies. You can see I only have 1 stack of Merciless right now. This is why I like Deadhead. It's a lot easier to stack it up to max, but you can still use this without Zatas. It'll still do damage, but it's not going to do nearly as much. Zatas is what's going to make this thing really nice with the AoE. So for this build, I would definitely recommend you use Zatas. As you can see, that there's a big difference. You're also, like, you don't have to headshot too. It's going to give you the 50% increase in damage, but it's also going to be a multi-shot build, and it's so you can shoot them in the body. You know, you can get a ton of procs on them, and it's not going to hurt you all that bad. Like, you can see here, even when I'm not in stealth, you can see, like, shoot them, and then yeah, just a whole lot of damage. It's really, really nice. So this one's like all about the blast. That's why I say go with Zada's. If you don't use blast damage, or if you don't use Zada's, the blast really isn't just going to do that much for this build. Why do I keep clicking my compressor? If you don't use Zada's, this isn't going to work as the way I built it. But if you really wanted another multi-shot build, this one's like pretty much the exact same thing as the initial build, but instead of acuity, I have fast hands here just for the reload speed. We're still running deadhead. And then this is a multi-shot based one. Like I said, it's really, really similar to the initial one, but this is like if you don't just, I guess, love going for heads all the time, and you just want to like do, I guess with this build, really, you'll get guaranteed slash procs, because you're applying so many instances of impact that you're gonna get slash. Like you can see just on that one, I had 4 slash procs on that guy. That guy's got 3. It's solid. You can prime them, and then they'll still take a ton of damage like this. You'll see the weapon is AoE, so it'll do a ton. So you can go about it the way you like, but like I said, the way this weapon is designed, it really feels like it's just made to be headshot based, acuity based, but this also does work if you guys would like to go for this. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this weapon for a little bit in my video. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch. Please like, please subscribe, leave a comment, and thank you.